Hello everybody. In this video we're doing another replay commentary of my own games. This time instead of in ranked solo duo, this is actually a Clash game because my Clash team got first place for a tier 1 Clash team, and I had a couple good games, so I wanted to go over some of them. Now do note that my friends are a bit lower elo than I am, so the average rank of the enemy is a bit lower. I think the Veigar that I was laning against this game, though, was about Diamond 1, so it's not too much lower than where I am right now. But the rest of his team was probably around Plat, I think, if I remember properly, so I am a bit higher ranked than most of them, so. But I thought this game was very well played, and wanted to go maybe review it and just see. It was a pretty fun one, so hopefully, hopefully it's educational, but also should be entertaining. So yeah, I do start out with the Doran's Ring here against Veigar. It's my usual start. Veigar is a bit of an annoying champion. His E can shut you down very hard in team fights, so you have to watch out for that. But his ult is extremely strong. You can get a ton of free kills with it, especially early game, because people will underestimate your damage with it. And he's not too bad to lane against. His Q poke can be annoying if you're not good at dodging it, but you can kind of abuse him in the early game because he isn't too strong laning phase. But you do have to watch out for jungle ganks. Also, sorry about the scoreboard messing up. The way that Clash works is I think it shows people based on their pick order, and so I can't change that. I don't think I can anyway in the replay. So it's a little bit inaccurate with the ordering there. And I'm kind of just keeping my distance, farming up. Don't want to take too much poke. Here, I think I look for a trade here, because some Veigars will start W level 2, and so you can try and engage on them. So yeah, here I did go for the trade. He did actually end up starting E, so I used my E2 to get out, because there's nothing I could do against him in that minion wave. I still got a pretty decent trade. I mean, I only hit him with a couple autos, but he didn't really have much to retaliate with, so. Now he has level 3, so it's a bit easier for him to manage the wave. I see him roaming here, so also, I am in voice comms with my entire team, so I'm not sure exactly how much I pinged. I probably pinged a decent amount, but, for the most part, I'm like actually communicating. But there, definitely communicate that the Veigar is going towards topside. I did kind of want to stay here to try and maybe bait the Veigar, see if I could jump on him, because Kayn did take enemy blue buff, but at least I think he did. Let's actually check. Kayn, yeah, it looks like Kayn did take the blue buff, but they didn't end up walking up, so. But it is always a very good idea to take those early jungle fights as Sylas, because you do an incredibly high amount of damage, especially with Ignite. And taking those early fights with your jungler will help you snowball and get a lead, because you just have so much damage with your Q, E, and W, and those passive stacks are also even more guaranteed damage. You can usually one-shot the enemy jungler from like level 3. So yeah, I'm looking to try and roam to my bot side here because my team was pinging that someone might be there. So the enemy wave is pushing towards me, so it does give me a bit of an opportunity to roam. I won't miss too much if I do. So here I do see the Kindred on the map. Go over to check it out. This is pretty much a free kill here. I tried to E onto the same side so I would go over with the Blast Cone, but I ended up being able to hit the E2 anyway, so it didn't matter. In the end, she was pretty much dead no matter what, but it's nice for me to be able to land that last hit because it helps me snowball even more. And I walk back, and I didn't really miss much, so. Here, I mean, I have a blue buff, so I'm not afraid of wasting my abilities because the mana doesn't matter anymore. So I'm just kind of spamming it on the wave. I'm not afraid of the Veigar because he has no mana, so I don't have to worry about him retaliating at all when my abilities are down. And here, I know that Veigar probably backed because he has low mana, so this is a good opportunity for me to shove the wave in, maybe bait out his teleport. I don't think he actually does teleport here, but he will miss a little bit because of that. So let's actually see how much he misses. Because yeah, he didn't decide to teleport. I think he actually misses this entire wave. Yeah, he almost missed the entire wave, and now this is going to push back nicely towards me. So I probably miss at most 2 melee minions here. You know, sometimes you can even miss nothing. It kind of depends on what the enemy does. So I go back here, get the Dark Seal, get the last chapter. It's a very good first back. Dark Seal is something, you know, you should always get on your first back because it just helps with that snowball potential. Last chapter is very nice because it, you know, just gives you that extra mana, a lot of AP. Plus the passive gives a lot of mana sustain as well. Now I see the Veigar roaming bot here, so I'm spamming my my bot lane to get off of it. You know, if I was in a normal game where I didn't have voice comms with my team, then I would have been spam danger pinging them. But now here I didn't expect, so maybe I should have probably dashed up towards my Kayn so that he could help me. I didn't expect Kindred to actually be there, so I kind of panicked and took the Kindred ult because I was afraid of the Veigar burst damage. You know, if I could do that again, I probably would have taken the Veigar ult instead and maybe tried to burst down the Kindred. Because, you know, once the Kindred ult ended, Veigar just pressed R on me and did like half my health point and click, so it didn't end up mattering. So, definitely taking the Veigar ult there I think would have been a better idea, just trying to maybe get a kill. Still probably would have died with the Veigar ult available, but... And here my jungler's on mid lane already, so I wanted to walk down here into the river. Since my jungler's already mid lane and I know that they're on dragon, they just took it. I can look for something here, so I think I did get this Kindred. No, I did have a nice combo there. I got the E2 on her, and then I queued slightly behind her because if they're going to run away from you, then queuing slightly behind them is the optimal play because then they'll walk into the Q2. And if they juke the Q2, then that means that they're walking back into you, which is what you want anyway, so. Queuing slightly behind them is generally what you want to do in those situations. Now I'm back in lane here. Can keep farming up. Fortunately, I did miss that, but I'm able to get that kill there because I am very comfortable with my damage there, and I actually flashed for the auto. I actually want to rewind that. Yeah, I flashed for the auto before the Veigar ult went off to increase the Veigar ult's damage so it would be able to kill him. And I actually got the Veigar's flash there too. And yeah, it's just, I knew that I could kill him with the Veigar ult. Unfortunately, I did miss the E2, but didn't end up mattering. Was able to burst him down anyway. So yeah, against Veigar, you can definitely go for those sort of surprise plays. I mean, your base abilities do so much damage already. If you're playing against Veigar, then you have that extra massive point and click damage from his ult. And you can get like 2 or 3 kills in the laning phase past level 6 just from that. So I'm doing quite well. I got the Everfrost. My magical footwear should be activating sometime soon. I'm going for a strike build, of course, so I have those runes. But yeah, you can see the Dark Seal already has 4 stacks, so this is giving me what? This one item is giving me 31 AP with the potential for more. For 350 gold, so pretty strong. And I'm basically all my team. I am all my team's kills right now, and all my team's deaths. So my team has just been playing pretty safe, allowing me to kind of do my thing and snowball, which is nice. So here I see Kindred on that pink word. It's a nice pink word. I'm not the one who placed that, but I think my jungler did. It's a pretty nice one. Now I'm pinging my team to back off here because I saw Veigar go top. Once he's back in lane, I'm able to tell them that he's back, so they don't have to worry. But you know, if you see Veigar, especially because this Veigar has Predator, most Veigars will take Predator. I think at least that's what I go in Veigar. I played him a decent amount, and I've seen a lot of people going Predator. I'm telling, like right here, I'm telling my Kayn that Veigar's coming up with Predator, and he does end up walking up there. Fortunately, he doesn't get any kill participation, so he does waste his time and miss a wave, and I'm able to get some turret platings, but you should always be conscious of where your enemy laner is, and make sure that you are informing your team of their whereabouts. Here, I know the Veigar is pretty squishy, and I know with Ignite I can definitely kill him. So I'm just trying to fish for something. So here you see I'm going in. Fortunately, I do end up missing the Everfrost, and it's a little bit awkward trying to fight him in the minion wave, but still able to do a decent amount of damage. Kind of force him to go back there. And that means that when the next wave comes, I can hard push that. And get him to hopefully miss a decent amount. Because he did end up using his teleport earlier there. So he does not have that up. See, I'm placing another ward in the middle there because I know Veigar likes to roam. Especially with that Predator. That's the main reason for it, is you just run up to people, press E, can't really do anything, and you just kill them. So having the ward in the lane there is quite nice because it does catch him going either mid, or either bot or top, sorry. And so I can warn my team ahead of time, and the Veigar just ends up wasting his time. So I did go back, I grabbed the Sorcerer Shoes. That's going to massively increase my damage output, just from that magic penetration. Start working towards the Shadow Flame. I did put my control ward in the bot side bush, you can see right there. That is my favorite control ward spot. End up getting another kill on the Veigar. I'm able to communicate with my Kayn that he doesn't have flash, so Kayn's able to bully him. But yeah, this is my favorite control ward spot. I like playing for the bot lane a bit more than top because I think dragons are more important. People generally go for them more. Plus, your support is on the bot side of the map, and so if they want to roam, they're going to be coming from the bot side. So that control ward helps make sure that they're not seen. Top lane control ward is really nice as well. I think people don't check it as much, so it can stay a bit longer, but I usually don't place one in the top side. You know, if my team does, then I'm pretty grateful, but I like the bot side bush a lot more. So here, I'm just looking around. I know Kindred probably gonna go for a mark here, so I check it out, make sure she's not on it. She doesn't end up showing up here. I do flash on her because I know that I can kill her with a W and an ult, but since the Veigar wall is there, I can't W through it because Veigar ult has a knockdown on it, which basically, it's a mechanic on a couple abilities in the game. It just stops enemy movement when they pass through it, so, you know, you probably noticed that if you play against Veigar, if you try to dash through his wall, it stops you at the wall, so that's just a knockdown. So, you know, Sylas W doesn't actually do damage and healing if it doesn't reach the target, so I wouldn't have been able to kill her there. But was able to flash through that wall, get the instant W in the ult, and she ended up dying. I think she might have had her ult up too, but I just did too much burst damage for her to react. So yeah, I'm just keeping, just continuing to push waves, continuing to apply pressure in the jungle. It's really hard for their mid and jungle to play because I'm so far ahead now, and because you know, I'm used to playing for the jungle a lot, I can bully their jungler off of a lot of resources, while also keeping prio in my lane by constantly pushing every wave that comes. So at this point, how much gold do I have? I have 2,500 gold on me, so I think I can almost buy a Shadow Flame. I think I'm like 50 gold off, so I do decide to clear this next wave. Nice quick wave clear combo, going back for the Shadow Flame. The Shadow Flame is a massive power spike. It allows you to one-shot people. You know, 12.10, it might be a little bit different, but I suspect it'll still be pretty strong. Yeah, now I have the Shadow Flame, the Everfrost, Sorcerer Shoes, almost a fully stacked Dark Seal, so, you know, it's looking pretty nice, and my team has managed to be pretty even, so I'm able to really just take over this game. Not many threats on the enemy team other than Veigar Cage, but you know, besides that one ability, I'm basically able to dominate the game. So again, here I'm playing around the jungle. You know, I don't necessarily need to be mid lane here, especially since I took the turret. So I'm just looking around. Maybe I can catch the Kindred out, and if I can get the Kindred even more behind, then that is going to help us a lot. So I see the Kindred is top, so I'm walking top here. You know, laning phase for me is basically over since I got the turret, so I'm more about roaming and helping the team. I know Kindred's probably going to come back around here because I saw her walk through the lane, so I'm kind of waiting for her out here. She does actually end up going on the Ornn again, so I have to take the Blast Cone. I'm able to kill her while she CC'd and get another kill on the Kled. So, you know, roaming there did end up working. If I just stayed mid and done nothing, then wasn't able to get those 2 kills. My Ornn probably would have died. Maybe even Kayn too. So, you know, playing around the rest of your map when you're ahead is definitely the way to go. You know, if you're just sitting in mid lane doing nothing, then you're gonna have a hard time, you know, carrying the game because your team is gonna end up falling behind, or at least they have a greater potential to. So here, how much gold do I have? I have 1,500 gold. You know, I can just reset and then head towards bot here. Dragon's up in a minute, so I don't really want to stay top for too much longer. Getting a nice reset off, get the stopwatch, get some Zanya's components, and then head towards bot side. So I think I did go mid here. I think bot lane probably would have been better, just to rotate bot, but maybe I wanted mid prio. I don't actually remember. Going for the Kled there, but he did end up getting out. So I probably should have gone bot there and let my bot lane go mid. That was probably a mistake on my part. I mean, playing mid, when you see the Kindred instantly ulted, she was really afraid of the instant kill. Yeah, playing around mid allows me to get more places on the map, but considering Dragon's about to be up, bot lane is a pretty safe bet because we're going to be playing around there anyway for, you know, the time being. Here, I wanted to go and grab that bot wave, but my Varus was already there, so I didn't want to take it from him. And yeah, Kindred has no ult, so this Dragon's pretty much free. Sylas is not very good at taking objectives, so if your team is fine without you, you can play up like I am right now and sort of zone the enemies off of the objectives. Like, my Kayn doesn't need me, so I'm much more useful just, you know, sitting here, making sure that the enemies can't get anywhere close to the dragon, and then heading over to the Rift Herald once my Ornn spots them on it. Fortunately, all 5 of them were here, so it's a bit hard to do anything. I maybe could have gone for a play here, but I just decided to play it safe and flash away from the Yuumi ult before the root. So, if I had gone in there, I probably would have... maybe I could have killed one, but probably just would have ended up dying, so I didn't want to risk that since I am 7-1. With the Veigar ult now, I can definitely look for, you know, some picks just sitting in their jungle. You know, trying to bully their Kindred even more. I know their red buff's about to come up, so I sit here and maybe wait for the Kindred to show up. You know, with the Veigar ult, I barely even have to touch her. If I get her to half health, or maybe even a little bit higher, I can just press R on her and she dies. I don't think she ends up coming here, but, you know, I think it's still good to just sit here. You know, just sit here and try and get a pick. No, she actually does end up coming. And yeah, what did I even hit her with? I think I W auto'd her. I missed everything else. And then I ignited and Veigar ulted. This ult is extremely strong early and mid game because it just adds so much damage. Yeah, I mean, I barely touched her and she just got one shot. The ult is probably one of the best early and mid game ults just because it adds so much damage to your combo and lets you get a lot of free kills like that. Like, I missed everything and still just did 800 damage to the Veigar ult or something stupid like that. So, Veigar ult is really nice. Late game, it does fall off a little bit. It's still very strong, especially because it has a massive AP ratio of about, I think it's 150% is like the maximum because it scales with the enemies missing health. But considering it's single target, it's a little bit worse late game. Can still be used to nuke a high priority target. But normally more AoE focused ults will be better at that time. But yeah, I mean, very strong early mid game. Pretty strong late game, but you know, most of the time you'll have a better ult. In this game, I think Veigar ult is probably the best for me late game as well, because they don't really have any of those massive AoE ults like a Kale or, you know, like a Nico or something like that. If they had a Kale or a Nico, I'd probably be focused on taking their ult more in the late game, because it's just much more value in team fights. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm pretty much unstoppable. I know that the enemy team stop here, so I think I stop my back and I start hitting the turret. And actually, Kled shows up here, but I'm not afraid of the Kled. I mean, Kled's has no health. Kled, no magic resist. I mean, I can just one-shot him. I'm not afraid of him at all. He's 3 levels down on me. I know that I can basically just free split push because I'm so fed. Nobody can actually match me. And here, this is something I like to do a lot. People will try to fight you when their tower's about to die. And so Sylas, because his passive does more damage to towers, you can start hitting the enemy with your ability, like I did there. You start hitting the enemies with your abilities before the tower's actually dead, and then use your autos to finish off the tower. And then they'll be half health. They will, you know, they'll already have engaged on you despite being much weaker, because they thought that they had the tower to help them, and then they end up half health with their tower gone, and then it's just a free kill. So, don't be afraid of enemies. Like, the Kled there is absolutely worthless. That's why I'm able to run under tower, just auto it for free while he's standing there, because I know I'm not afraid of him. I'm not afraid of him at all. So if you know that an enemy's not a threat to you, you know, and you know that other enemies aren't going to come, so like I knew the rest of his team was top lane, then I don't have to be afraid of him. I can just take the tower right in front of his face. So here I'm still playing for like the mid/bottom side of the map. You know, I am just extremely strong now. Especially with the Zanyas. Now I'm a lot safer. Working towards a death cap because the enemy team isn't building too much magic resist. So I'm able to go for that pure AP. So here I'm just clearing some vision. You know, Baron's up, so there's a chance the enemy team could maybe walk near it for some vision, so standing there is a pretty decent idea. You know, I wanted Dragon's up in 40 seconds. I was sort of waiting around mid lane to you know, sort of wait for Dragon, and then I realized that it was taking a lot longer for the Dragon to spawn than I realized, so I went up and took the Krugs, which Kindred had marked. So, you know, if she went for those Krugs instead of Dragon, then it wouldn't mean anything to her. And I can still get to Dragon pretty quickly before it actually spawns. Maybe I should have just sat in bot river anyway, and just held that area so that they couldn't get there, but I think it worked out. So that's actually something I need to work on, is I sometimes miss my Qs when I Everfrost. So maybe as a personal thing, I should probably start holding my Qs a bit longer after Everfrost, just so I don't miss it like that. Because, you know, I did say how I like to Q behind them. I think I sort of subconsciously do that even after I Everfrost. You know, even though they would be rooted, so something for me to work on. Is just making sure that I'm landing those Everfrost Qs. Maybe I should just wait a little bit longer before actually queuing to like determine if they've been rooted or not. So then I'm one-shotting the Veigar, grabbing the kill on their Kindred as well. Now my Varus was getting killed by the Kled in the backline there, but because the main priority is their jungler, because she's the one that can steal the dragon, that is who I went on first. Didn't end up getting the quadra kill, so now I'm going for the Kled for the Penta, of course. We end up getting the Penta. So, we were just so much stronger than the enemy, we were just able to completely steamroll them. Just one-shot the Veigar with his own ult, and then just completely destroyed the rest of their team. I mean, at this point, I'm 14-1. I'm so strong. I have Ornn upgraded item. There's not really much. Like, I still have to be a bit careful, because there is the Veigar. But there's not much that they can really do. Because unless I get caught out in a Veigar cage, then it's really hard for them to actually take care of me. And here I bought the full death cap, I bought the Medjais. The reason I buy the Medjais instead of going for a Void Staff is because they're not really building that much MR. You know, they have a little bit at this point, but Medjais is the item that is going to give me the most immediate strength because I have the 10 stack Dark Seal. So I don't really want to sell the 10 stack Dark Seal. And you know, I'd probably want to get the Void Staff over the Medjai's, but because I already have the Dark Seal and I don't have more inventory space, getting the Medjai's is going to give me the most immediate power. And since I'm so fed, the game is probably going to close out pretty soon anyway, so. Actually, there's a Kaisel in there. I think it was giving me a 1000 health shield. I don't know if it was noticeable in that fight. It looked like a bit lower, but it's probably because I took a bunch of damage as I used it. But yeah, they did actually, Kaisel wasn't very good before, but I think they actually buffed it to a 100% AP ratio on the shield. I think it used to be a 75%, so a pretty nice buff to the shield. I think it definitely makes it more viable on Sylas. So here I go for the Kindred ult because we're in their base and it makes it easier to end. You know, if you have the Kindred ult, theoretically you could Kindred ult yourself on the enemy Nexus and they wouldn't be able to stop you from ending the game. Fortunately, we didn't end up getting the second tower, so we do have to back off. But we did get one Nexus tower, so. Yeah, I think I went for the red buff here. I don't remember how much gold I had. Or actually, it doesn't really matter because, yeah, I mean, I'm full build, so I don't actually need to go back. As long as my health and mana are sufficient, I don't actually need to go back because there's nothing for me to buy. And the red buff just helps me get that health regen. So yeah, just popping the Colette out of his thing there. He walks back up for some reason, so I am able to kill him. You know, just because he looks tanky does not mean he actually is when I'm this far ahead. And here this Kindred also gets completely destroyed with the QW. You know, having the Q, being able to set your Q up for the burst combos is really strong. Because, you know, that Q2 does an insane amount of damage. Like, how much damage does it do right here? It does 992 damage. And you can Q2, you can line it up so that your Q2 detonates at the same time that your W hits them. My W does 912 damage. So, you know, that Kindred got hit by both of them at the same time and got instantly evaporated. My Yasuo does 1000 damage, so, you know, it's kind of late game Sylas damages. And since, you know, they weren't actually able to kill me, I can kind of just steamroll them and one-shot their entire team. So yeah, you know, I think that was a very well-played game. Hopefully you guys learned something from that. I farmed very well. I had 228 CS in a 27-minute game, so probably about 8.5 CS a minute if I had to estimate, which is very good. And you know, I was 20-1, got a pentakill, so very, very solid game overall. And yeah, so that's sort of how you snowball a lead on Sylas. Just keep roaming, play for the jungle, try to get the enemy jungle behind, and you can start farming up those kills and helping your team out. So yeah, hopefully this video is pretty educational. Hopefully it was entertaining. If you like this content, you want to see more, consider liking, subscribing, leaving a comment. Any feedback would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.